Katrina, thank you so much for being here and congratulations for winning Icon of Excellence at Forbes.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Great. I'm very, very excited about this conversation. As a personal user of K-Beauty, I must say you have a fabulous brand. You have a very, very fabulous brand.
Well, you have to tell me what's your favorite product that you use.
I love your lipsticks. I love them. They don't make my lips dry at all. So absolutely.
Well, you've made my day. I'm
Yes.
so happy to hear that.
Fantastic. So, let's get started with your journey in terms of when you started off, as an entrepreneur. So as a successful actress, tell us, how did your experience in the entertainment industry influence your decision to launch your own brand?
I think my entire experience, so much of my journey of being an actor and being in the public eye and the pluses and I think sometimes the difficulties that can be accompanied with, whether it's the constant scrutiny of you, of your appearance as a woman, every single day, social media. I think the entire process for me was such a huge part of what led me to my journey and brought me to actually launching the company K-Beauty. For me, there was something so truly personal that I wanted to say about self-expression, about makeup, which has been a huge passion of mine. It's probably was my earliest passion. I've always been absolutely enthralled and obsessed by the transformative power of makeup. I think that it really brought me out of my shell and it helped me to kind of express myself when I was very shy, when I was a teenager. And through my journey, as I was an actress, I felt that there was something that I wanted to say that was deeply personal to me. And that was really about embracing who we are, being okay with who we are at all the various times in our life. Sometimes we feel like we're on top of the world and we feel like $1,000,000. Yeah. And other times you feel like you're in the doldrums and you can't even face your own family, And I think that that's important for us to embrace every aspect of who we are, every aspect of ourselves. And there was a certain intimidation that I sometimes could see associated with the beauty industry, sometimes associated with makeup, like even when you went to speak to a beauty advisor, at the counter. And that was something that I really wanted to change with K-Beauty. I wanted there to be a community which felt celebratory, which felt fun, which felt accepting, and where people, whoever you are, however you looked, all genders could truly feel like this is a place of expression. This is a place where I can be free and where I can express myself. And that, I think, is the emotional core. That's really the ethos behind what we wanted to say and what I tried to say with K-Beauty. And I think when it came to the product, for me it was very, very clear. I really, really, really wanted to give the best quality product to every consumer, and for it not to be restrictive, not to be only available to a select few who could, perhaps, afford a certain, out-of-reach price point. But at the same time, I wanted there to be absolutely no compromise on the quality. I wanted it to be of the highest standard, high performance, because that was my passion. So for me, my passion is actually creating the products. My passion is innovation.
And you're quite a perfectionist in that also, right?
Yes, I know this is a room full of business leaders, so it's not going to go down well what I'm going to say, because I know the timelines have to be adhered to, but we actually launched almost 2 years later than initially intended, because I was like, we're going to launch when the products are perfect. And I think that really paid off, though, because from day one on our launch, I think we earned the trust of the beauty consumers and the beauty industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what would you say have been some key challenges and learning curves in the process of building this brand? And you've had a great mentor in Falguni Nair. So tell me how has it been?
Like you said, I have the most incredible mentor in Falguni Nair. And what I absolutely love about her is the journey we've taken together from day one to almost now 5 years later. When she first met me, I think she could just see all the passion, all the creativity, and what I wanted to say, and this ad film, and this campaign, and she could see that, okay, that she wants to express herself, and she let me. She really, really let me. And I think slowly over the years, I've spent more time with her. I've learned so much about those things called P&Ls, AOPs.
Oh, wow.
Before I was like, no, I just want to create. But now I think I've understood more the business, the entire business structure, you know, the 360 picture of what it takes to be a successful business. And that's important. And these are learnings which I think have been instrumental in bringing K-Beauty to where it is today.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that for me, my biggest driver remains the innovation, the creativity, the expression, the part which we communicate to the audience, to the consumer with our visuals, what we believe at K, what we stand for. That for me is my biggest driver. Yeah. And then I think I couldn't ask for a better partner with Falguni Nair, Advaita Nair, and they're there to, you know, to keep the
numbers in
exactly
check.
There you go.
So you can have fun, absolutely. But tell me, what were some initial challenges and setbacks that you faced that you know were a struggle for you to kind of deal with early on?
I think making sure, I don't know if it's a struggle, but I think it's something which was an important learning for me, to really make sure you're listening to the consumer and to be swift and precise about incorporating their feedback. So it could be about a product, whether you need to pivot, whether you need to change, whether you need to add more shades, whatever feedback. We've always really, really encouraged that dialogue between us and the consumer, and we really pay attention to it. In fact, I remember in the early days, I used to ask our social media team, are you guys reading each and every comment on the social media? What are they saying? What are they asking for? What are people feeling? And I think that initial feedback was very, very instrumental in kind of helping us build that connection with the consumer.
That's fabulous. In fact, you know, when you talk about your products in itself, there are some very, very interesting and different variants that you have, right? How did you sort of identify that gap in the market? Because it would have been tough to kind of educate the market as well, right? Because, I mean, something like, you know, a lip plumper, for instance, is something that you guys launched, but no one in India kind of had that earlier. So things like that, how do you identify that gap and educate the market?
So I think that's where my passion and my knowledge from my experience with makeup over more than 20 years in the film industry is I sat on the chairs of so many makeup artists, some of the best makeup artists in the world, in our country, internationally, and it's always been a passion of mine. So I was always observing the tips and the tricks they used. Why would they choose one product over another? And for a large part of my career in films, I actually did my own makeup. So I think, so as your colleague said earlier, in Jab Tak Hai Jaan, I had done a lot of my own makeup for that. Yes.
Wow.
So I know makeup and I know what I want out of my product. And I think I kind of feel that that's what every consumer wants. They want high performance makeup. They want the product to deliver what you promised them. So for me, that's really just it's almost my guiding light. If it works for me, in terms of the efficacy of the product, because of the amount of experience I've had using products, whether it's the humidity in our country, the stability of the product, I think that's something that we're really, really conscious of. And I think once you've had that experience with the product, then you know what it's like. And I think that's where we have so many loyal consumers.
Wow. You know, I mean, and you speak about passion. Clearly, you are extremely passionate and a perfectionist, as I gather. But as a leader, how hands-on are you? Do you know, like, I mean, give us an instance of how involved do you get into the day-to-day running of K-Beauty?
Well, put it this way. Every time there's a K meeting, and, you know, the big discussions that happen, they happen at my house. And every time it's scheduled, my husband asks me, okay, so what do you have today? And if I say I have a K meeting, then he goes, okay, so basically you want me out of the house the whole day. So we spend a lot of time together as a team. We have an incredible team. I have an incredible team that I work with at K-Beauty, and everyone is super hands-on, right from Falguni to Advaita to our head of business, Suklin, to my head of marketing, Pearl. They're all so involved, and what we do is we have an open dialogue. Every person of the team has a place on the table to have their voice heard. I listen to them, and that's something that I'm extremely conscious of. It's really important to hear everyone out and really understand where they're coming from. Everyone has something to contribute. And I think it's that teamwork which really kind of, it's that very democratic environment which really makes, I think, a standout.
Wow. And, you know, I mean, when you talk about working with your team, you know, what, I mean, obviously there would be the ups and downs, whatever it be. What does it teach you about resilience, you know? How has it changed you as a person?
It teaches you about patience. I think it's taught me a lot about patience, and it's also taught me that with passion comes high emotion. And I think you have to have room for that. You have to let people have good days and bad days, and just, I think, observe all the members of the team, observe their passion and commitment, not necessarily, you know, judge people by each word or each perfect behavior or someone's having a tough day. Yeah. I think it's really about their dedication and the commitment to the brand. I think that is something that I really look for.
Lovely. And there's one big differentiator that you guys, like you rightly mentioned in the beginning, is the fact that, you know, you've made the brand very authentic, right? Tell us more about that, and, you know, how do you ensure that the brand remains authentic while also navigating the pressures that come with running a business?
I think that's something which is really, really important, because as the brand grows from strength to strength, and as the brand grows in size, I am observing slowly that there are new sets of challenges and new things that you have to navigate as a company to really be true to what your voice is and what are your pillars, what is your ethos. And I think that's something that I constantly have in my mind. And I'm very, very conscious to maintain that, because, as I said, for me, K-Beauty is truly personal. What I wanted to say about inclusivity, what I wanted to say as it being a platform of self-expression, where everyone is represented, a place which is fun, which is celebratory. So that's something I'm very, very conscious of. And as well as some of our other pillars, we have something called K Conversations, where we've highlighted women who are doing extraordinary things in the world from all walks of life, all across the country, whether it's, you know, someone who's a teacher, someone who has done something incredible during COVID. And that's something which is a big passion of mine. We started it from day one, and that's something we maintain today, to highlight and to celebrate women who are doing truly incredible things in all walks of life. Another part of K-Beauty, which is a true passion of mine, is what we have called Care Initiative. Okay. And this is something where we're constantly, and for me, I'm always looking for ways that I can, in my own small way, in whatever way, give back to a community who gave me so much love and acceptance when I came in as a complete new entrepreneur into the beauty industry. And there's something really exciting which we're going to be launching soon this year, in fact, just a few days now. And it's something which is truly, truly personal to me, and I hope that I'm able to take it from strength to strength, about really uplifting women, uplifting people who also want to step into the beauty industry but may not have the exact correct inroads. Yep. And that's something that we're going to be partnering with them to kind of help them and see what doors we can help to open.
Wow, very excited about this new launch. And looking back on your entrepreneurial journey, you know, what would you say have been some lessons that you've learned, you know, if you could name a couple, and some, you know, wow, you're laughing. Just
I'd say my biggest lesson that I've learned is actually something which is also echoed that my husband used to say, especially in the first few months of marriage, which is, let me talk. So I think that it's really important that no matter how passionate you are, it's been something that I'm very conscious of, that to really give everyone on the table a place and a space to be heard. So for me, learning patience and absolutely learning to really be a good listener to all the team members and all the members of my team is something which I think has been important for me.
Has that reflected in your husband's opinion changing as well?
Not really. He just learned to let me talk.
Fair enough. And just one last thing, Katrina, for you. You know, I'd love to keep going, but I think we're running out of time.
I'm joking about that, by the way. he's incredible, but he's a fantastic talker and a fantastic listener.
Yeah.
That I've learned from him
It's
a
a
lot.
very good quality, I'm
It
sure.
is.
So coming back to my question, what's next for you? Are you looking to invest in any other startups? Are you looking to set up any more companies? What's next for you as an entrepreneur?
You know, for me, I really do believe it's a deep-held belief that if you're going to step into any arena of business, like I said, you really have to have something new and something to offer. And for me, there have been two other aspects of, I think, what you could say in this journey that have always held a special place in my heart. And I still feel that it's something that will be realized. So in terms of investing in startups, yes, that's something I'm always looking at.
Sure.
And something I'm very passionate about, to try and see if you can learn or discover something new, and there's something that's coming up. But in terms of like starting another business, there are one or two ideas which I've been harboring, and I think it's all about when the time is right. Like with K-Beauty and with Nikon, Falguni Nair, it was just the perfect marriage.
Absolutely.
And I think when that time is right, then probably I'm hoping that that I will also be able to start that as well.
Great. Look forward to that. Thank you so much for your time today, Katrina. This was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.